So are you divorced? You thinking about getting divorced? Maybe you're just asking for a friend. At the end of the day, divorces can be messy. But you know what's even more messy? Trying to get a home loan and not understanding how a divorce or being in the middle of a divorce can actually impact your ability to buy a house, refinance a house, or separate from an old mortgage. In this video, I'm gonna give you the most important things that you need to know when navigating divorce and getting a home loan.
Love and marriage, go together like a horse and...
So what happens when you're getting a divorce and you're trying to buy a house? Or maybe you're getting divorced and you're trying to get out of a house and get off of a mortgage that you're on right now. There's a lot of moving pieces. But first things first, are you actually divorced? Or are you guys working on the divorce? Maybe you guys are just separated. But if you're not legally divorced or legally separated, then it changes things. It makes a big difference, because if you are divorced, then your ex-spouse, their debts, their credit, their income, all their financial skeletons in the closet do not, or at least should not, impact your ability to buy a house, refinance, etc. But if the divorce is not final, if it's still in the works, and you guys are legally still married, that changes things depending on what type of loan you're getting. Maybe you're getting a government loan. Well, maybe their debt is actually going to count as your debt, even though you're on the way out the door. Maybe you're in a community property state. All of these things add a layer of complexity. So the first thing is figuring out, basically, are you divorced already or not? If you're legally divorced, then getting a home loan is pretty simple, except, the difference is now you have to be able to qualify for everything on your own, whereas before, you guys were qualifying together as co-borrowers. So that's the major difference. But if you are legally divorced and you are going to use alimony or child support to qualify for the loan, just understand that you're going to need to have been receiving this alimony or child support, or both, for at least 3 to 6 months, depending on what type of loan you're doing, and have some sort of court order, a divorce decree, a maintenance agreement, some sort of legal document that states exactly how much that alimony is, or how much the child support is, and how long it's going to be paid for. No matter what, it has to have a 3-year continuance. So if we're talking child support and little Johnny is 16 years old, well, guess what? He's going to be 18 in 2 years. So we don't have 3 years of continuance. Can't use little Johnny's child support income. If it's alimony, we got to have a 3-year lifespan of that income in order to be able to use it to qualify. But let's say that you're not divorced yet. You're still working it out, but you're trying to buy your next property. These are the challenges that you're going to need to address in order to, navigate the process. By the way, if you're getting value out of this, do me a huge favor, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. So you're still working on the divorce, and let's say that you live in California. Well, guess what? California is a community property state. So if you're still legally married, then depending on what type of loan you're doing, if you're doing a government loan, FHA, VA, USDA, being married is going to be a big deal, because you're going to have to include your spouse's, your soon-to-be ex-spouse, their debt in your debt-to-income ratio. I know it's not fair, but that's how it works. That's why if you're in the process of being divorced versus already divorced, one of the reasons makes a big difference in how you qualify. Something else that makes a big difference, especially in these community property states, is that your ex, if you're not officially divorced, they have a legal right to that property, which means that they need to sign your closing disclosure, which is a disclosure that you'll receive towards the end of the loan process, towards the end of your transaction, whether you're buying a house or refinancing. They will also need to sign what is called a quitclaim deed, which is basically they're surrendering their community property rights to that house. Because, let's face it, are you really going to go through the trouble and expense of buying a new house on your own and your ex still has a piece of the action? Of course not. not. So the only way that it's going to work is if your ex plays ball. So if things aren't very amicable between you and the soon-to-be ex, then that can be a dicey situation to navigate. Getting them to sign that CD, getting them to sign that quitclaim deed. Those are two things that you're going to want to navigate ahead of time. Don't wait until you're already in escrow to buy a property and you've got a gun to your head to perform, and then all of a sudden your ex is playing games and dragging the process out, potentially costing you money or even costing you the whole deal. I've seen it go two ways. I've seen exes that, everything's all amicable. They sign, they want what's best for their family, and everything's all good. And then I've also seen things get really nasty where we all thought that the ex was going to play ball, and when it came down to sign on the line that is dotted, they said, all right, I'm going to play games now. That's not what you want. So work this out ahead of time. Save yourself some drama. I mean, let's face it, divorce is not a fun thing to talk about, and it's usually really messy. And that's why it's important that you work with professionals that know how to navigate the process, that can help look out for your best interests and try and make the overall experience a positive one. If you've got questions about how to navigate divorce and getting a home loan, I would love to be your resource. Please reach out to me. My contact's in the description below, or click that link and let's connect. I'll get you the information that you need to make an educated decision. And if you haven't already, do me a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.